Alright, so in this video we are going to focus on creating a user resource and the course resource and all of that. We're going to look into resources with Laravel to basically structure our code a bit more. So let's go and make a resource called course resource, and we want to just like to start out with, we can actually just going to say return new course resource with and then we also want to get the course up here. So we want to get course by just saying course where slug is equal to slug, and then we just want to pass in the codes here like this. So right now, if we go in here and just check which one we have in our database, so if we just pass in the slug of course, we right now need to get an error. So by that is because we need to also go in and do something with our resource, and we need to make sure everything works here. So first of all, in here we want to make sure that we pass through the slug. We want to make sure that inside our course resource that we return some information. So we want to just return whatever is passed through with this request. So in here, let's put in title, request title. Let's just do that for now, and we will still get this error because we still have this error here. And we just want to go in and change it in here because we can only reference this more once. So if we go in and say courses, and then let's actually go in and just call this lesson and then slug. So what we can do here is we can now click here and we will get a title of null. So we want to make sure that we pass through everything we need here. And for now, let's actually make sure that we actually return the proper course in here. So like instead of returning this here, we just want to return a response with some JSON, and then here we just want to return course. Just for now, we want to see if it actually gets the information here. So we should obviously already change it inside the right wrong. So if we just go and say slug, so we just need to see why this is going wrong in here. So like if we go in and let's in fact actually go in right now in course controller and item so I think actually the reason why we don't get anything is because we just need to pass in the get. Okay, here you go. So if we now, let's actually just reverse this back to here and then pass through get here. And then so we need to see why this is not working correctly. So let's just test this out a bit. inside here, let's go inside. I'll just go inside this project here where I have I have a resource here, and I will just make sure everything works perfectly fine from here. So if we because we put it use the request where we need to use this, that's why. So I just made a small mistake here. So basically what you just need to say instead of request is saying this title and then we also need to change it in here back to where it was before. So it says title does not exist. Let's try to copy this. And let me just go and check here why this happened. Should pass through the title because we're putting in course like this here. So like if we even go in and just say try to say if this will work, find one, so the issue is here we need to make sure that we basically get the correct one. So we want to say where slug is equal to slug, but we also want to make sure first of all that if course, and then we should also try to pass in first. And what we're basically returning now is actually the title. So if I go in now and just change this to something different, it will actually change it. So what we can do now is we can go inside our resource and let's also pass through this description. Slug. And also let's pass through lessons. And the way we do that is by saying lessons. Oh, just double check that this will be correct. So I will just go in here in my other project here and go in and check that this is. We just need to remove the parameters here. So if we remove these, try to basically pass through here. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're putting the correct namespace in. So let's just go inside model here. And also let's make sure we fix this typo here. So now we have all the lessons made for a particular course. You can go in and add in created ad and updated ad as well. So what we can do now is instead of having to beautify the date on the front end side, we can do that on the back end. So like if we go inside our course here, let's go in and say protected dates, and then let's go and say that's going to be created ad, and we also want to have updated ad. So with that done, we can now go inside our resources. So if you want to show when you actually created it with a more readable one, we can say created at this created at div for humans. And then you see created 1 day ago. So with that done, we can now go in and change this to update that. You don't have to include this. You can do this in the front end too, but the beauty of doing this on the back end is you're allowing yourself to basically add in more information, and you don't have to like install like, I don't know, a front end framework like Moment, or not framework but library. Like, so you can basically go ahead and convert the time. This allows you to just do it on the back end, so all the data is already done here. It really depends on how much control you want to have on the front end or what information you pass through, but this allows us to pass through all the lessons. So what we want to do is we want to have the opportunity to, on some pages, maybe to show like the lessons or some of the lessons of the course when you just view the course, but you don't necessarily view anything else. You don't have to include this. This really depends on how you want to design the front end part. But this is how I think will work best for this course. So let's go in and now make the lesson resource. And in here we want to go in and return the information we need from the lesson. So what we can go in here do is pretty much the same as this one here, except we don't want to wrap the lessons. We could take in the readable dates as well. And then make sure inside here we put in protected dates. And then we can go in here and basically add in the last couple of variables we also need in here. So we need to have the file ext order and course ID. And then what we can do now is inside our API here, we can first of all just go in and make sure that we have the right one here. So we want to go in and say listen slug. This will give an error for now. But if we go in here now and say listen /course, it will return nothing. So if we now go inside our controller here and go inside the index function here, we want to do exactly the same thing as in here, grabbing the index here, and we want to just change this instead to use the lesson. And then we also want to make sure that we just rename this to lesson. And of course use the lesson resource. And if we now go inside Postman, we get all of this here. You could go even further and go in and add in stuff like in the model you can go in and add, for example, public function and say course, and then say return this belongs to course class But the thing about this is we are not going to use this in this course, but then you could obviously go inside the resource here and grab the information about the course that the lesson is in. But we are going to do that from the front end, so we can just leave this for now, but you can do this if you fancy. So this is the way we can basically use Laravel with resources. You can even make it even more advanced, but we will focus on the other things in the next video, where we're actually gonna create a course using the front end, and we're gonna focus on viewing it and all of that afterwards. So thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.